And if you're not reading a sales book at least once a month, just to touch on it, just to see what their perspective is, and you're not testing new things, you're not getting uncomfortable. My favorite sales book of all time is You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. Best sales book ever. But appropriately titled, as long as it is, because you can't. Could you guys, if none of you knew how to ride a bike, could I talk up here about how to ride the bike, and then could you guys get on a bike and just know how to do it? No. What do you have to do? You have to get on the bike. And what's inevitably going to happen? You're going to fall. And there's different things you have to learn on the bike, right? So in the beginning, you have mom or dad, and they do this with the back of your seat, and then they run with you, and then they let go. And then as soon as they let go, you're going, right? Until what? Until you realize they're not there. And then eventually, because there's no such street that just keeps going straight, what eventually has to happen? You have to stop. Have I learned that yet? So what happens? Boom, hit a curb. And then you learn, so now you learn how to stop. And now that you learn how to stop, you learn how to turn. In the beginning, it's not a great turn. It's one of those weird, awkward turns where everyone knows you just rode a bike, where you're like riding and then, right? Like it's not like a cool, smooth turn. You're like, so then you learn how to turn better. Then you learn how to start on your own, right? Because then that's another thing. I don't know how to start. Like the starting is tough. And then, I'm kidding. So then you have to learn how to do everything else. One hand, then you learn no hands, how to look around. All those things you're uncomfortable with, but they're all different levels of learning how to ride a bike. But then, once you learn how to ride the bike, you go 20 years without riding a bike. And can you get back on a bike and successfully get on and start riding it and ride it? What's the common phrase? Oh yeah, it's like riding a bike, right? I thought you were going to say it's like chicken, which is not appropriate for the conversation, but it is a phrase. But yeah, it's like riding a bike. And sales is like that too. Some of the stuff that I don't do on purpose. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. Just like you guys don't think about how to pedal and turn and all that stuff on a bike. I don't even think about it anymore. I just naturally am positioning the conversation to create a win-win. And that's the main thing too, guys. Sales, real salespeople, they're not wanting to be great persuaders or convincers or tricksters and all that stuff. If that were the case, I'd be ashamed to be one. Real salespeople, they want to find out what it is that the person needs. And if they provide the real solution to it, they want to be able to present it in a way that makes the other person see what they see so that they could eventually get the solution and win. And if you guys don't truly believe in your heart that 6 months later, they're not going to get where you think they want to be, don't sell them, because then you're that slimy salesperson. You sell them because you want them to be in a better place, just like you sell your kids on eating vegetables. You don't do it to be a trickster and mess with your kids and manipulate them. You do it because you know it's in their best interest. Would you agree? Yes? And so, but it's important to learn how to position conversations, not just so that you can win, but so that other people can win. If you're uncomfortable with the idea of calling yourself a salesperson, it's the same reason certain kids don't like certain sports, right? You ever see kids that go, oh, I don't like basketball, oh, I don't like football. But sometimes what does that really mean? I'm not good at it. I don't want to be out there with everybody else. They look like they're good at it, and I feel like they're making fun of me, right? And once the kid starts getting good at it, you can't get them off the field, right? They love it. They ask people to play, look for the next time to play. And I think sales is the same way. I think subconsciously, because the kid doesn't think that's why he doesn't like it. The kid really thinks he doesn't like it, right? But in reality, and some kids legitimately may not like a sport, but in a lot of cases, they really don't like it because they don't feel like they're good at it. And for you guys, I want you to ask yourselves that question too. How much have I really studied on sales? How much of the science, how much of what Mike talked about today did I already know and implement and use? How many books have I really read, and how many things have I tested myself? And if the answer is not much, then you may be a little uncomfortable with testing some of these things simply because you don't feel like you're 100% good at it, or you're not wired to do it, or that's not your personality. It is. You just got to get out there and practice. And the more you practice it, just like riding a bike, you're going to fall. And when you fall, know that, by the way, when you go and challenge somebody, and when you go to test some of the things that I did, it's not going to be natural. You're going to turn like this, right? You're going to say something and it's not, the timing's not right, or the tonality's not right. You may screech like a kid going through puberty, right? So something's going to happen because you're a little nervous, you're uncomfortable, you're going to fall. When you do, you don't call it quits, and you don't say, I'm not trying that again. That's not for me. It's not my personality type. That's not how it works for me. Don't do that. Think about the kid on the bike. The kid knows how to ride a bike. You just got to get there. Go through the uncomfortable shit. Sorry, I'm sorry I cursed a couple times. GSD stands for get shit done, and it's a word we use a lot. But go through that stuff, guys. Go through that tough stuff. Feel uncomfortable. You know in fitness, in order to get results, you have to feel. Can you be comfortable in your gym and get results? Do you tell your customers that? And how does growth happen? It's not just lifting, just not just fitness. It's business too. Get yourself to that point. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not going to grow. Okay? So I hope you guys understood what my objective was today. It wasn't to teach you little phrases and sayings, although you may have learned a couple things on that. But my goal was for you to appreciate sales and know that there's more to it than just pushing somebody into a direction. It's really getting to what they really need, and also understanding there's a science behind it, and appreciate that. And if you guys are willing to, I'd love you guys to read some books. I'd love for you guys to watch some influencers and really get better at it. And I promise you guys, this is something that I am willing to promise, you guys will notice a very, very big difference in your business, like leaps and bounds, if you were able to become top-notch salespeople, because you're not only selling your customers, you're selling everybody, right? You guys know that. And you want to get your employees on board. You want to get your customers on board, your vendors and your family on board, and not fighting you on everything. Okay? Did you guys get value out of today? Yeah? Was today good, or was it just the worst, most disgusting piece of crap conversation we ever had? Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.